Okay, welcome in. I'm now going to be reviewing Friday's action from the National Hockey League playoffs. There were two games on tap starting in Boston as they played host to the Florida Panthers in Game 6 of their second round matchup. Heading into this game, the Panthers did have a 3-2 series lead. Would they be able to close things out in Boston, or could the Bruins push this to 7 games? In the first, with just under a minute to go, 53 seconds to be exact, Pavel Zacha would kick things off, getting his first goal of the playoffs from DeBrusk and Witherspoon. So the Bruins had a 1-0 lead heading into the second period. In the second period, Lundell would break the tie, getting his would tie it up, getting his second goal of the playoffs from Verhaeghe, and that goal happened with 7 minutes and 16 seconds remaining. We were all tied up at 1 heading to the third period. Forsling would break the tie, getting his second goal of the playoffs from Lundell and Tkachuk, and that goal happened with just 1:33 remaining on the clock, so the Panthers would survive and would win the series in 6 games. They have advanced to the Eastern Conference Final for the second consecutive year, and a fun little note, every time they played the Bruins in the playoffs, they've made it to the Stanley Cup Final, first in 1996, the following just last year in 2023. Will this trend continue? Only one way to find out. So, the other game from Friday took place in Colorado. And I'll get the team's logos up on the screen before I talk about this matchup. So, the Stars had a 3-2 series lead heading into Colorado. Would they be able to be like Florida and end their series in 6, or could the Avs survive for one more game? There's no scoring in the first. We have to go to the second, where Mikko Rantanen would open up the scoring, getting his 4th goal of the playoffs from Drouin and Makar, a power play goal, 5 minutes and 48 seconds of the second frame. In the third period, Jamie Benn would tie it up, getting his 3rd goal of the playoffs from Dadonov and Tyler Seguin, just 1 minute and 56 seconds of the third period. We would need overtime in this one, and in my personal opinion, the game should have ended in the first overtime, as at that point, Marchment did score, but they ended up calling the goal back. A bit of a controversial call, if you ask me. If you go check it out I'm sure it's on several YouTube clips of it. But as he shot it, Matt Duchene was on the outside of the crease, but he got bumped, and then therefore the goalie wasn't able to make the save. Either way, the Stars would prevail in the second overtime. Matt Duchene would get credited with the game-winning goal, his second of the playoffs from Pavelski, with 8 minutes and 18 seconds remaining of this second overtime. So at least the Stars still managed to win. It would have been very painful had the Avs won and pushed this to 7, because I'm sure that goal would have been talked about as the most controversial, or one of the controversial non-calls in the playoffs. But hey, the referees are only human, right? Okay, so the Stars have advanced to the Western Conference Final for the second consecutive season. And yeah, that takes care of the recap from Friday's action. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, take care.